Video games. They're back. They've descended upon Los Angeles. Again. It's time for E3. Yay.
Yay, question mark?
Yay, question mark. The first E3 to be in a long time to be technically open to the public. That's probably not a good sign.
Yay, question mark?
Yay, question mark. Hello, welcome to the seasonal anime Checkup OVA.
Hello.
I'm Jared, joined as always by the queen of video games.
Oh my god, am I the queen of video games?
The queen of E3.
Oh my god. I don't want to be the queen of E3.
The queen of the E3 press conferences.
No!
Miss Anne Ladyem.
I want to be queen of something cool.
The queen of Nintendo.
Okay, I'll take that. Or like the queen of Link's new ponytail. I'll take that.
There you go.
The queen of... I'll take Nintendo, yeah. I'll take that.
You now have to be in a house with Reggie that transforms into a field.
I would love to hang out with Reggie. Like 100% I would hang out with Reggie. I don't even care what he's doing. I just want to hang out with him.
That would be intimidating.
I don't know. I wouldn't be intimidated by him at all. Like if it was Miyamoto, I'd be intimidated partially because of the language barrier. But like Reggie, I'm all about.
Reggie's going to strike the fear into you.
No, he wouldn't.
He's going to tell you to play the game.
And you know what? I would. If Reggie said play the game, I'd be like, yeah, all right, let's do it.
If it's not fun, why bother?
I agree, Reggie. Let's play. God. Reggie and Bill, like I would totally hang out with those two dudes. Like I said, I would hang out with Miyamoto too, but like he's a little more intimidating to me.
I feel like Bill Trennan is like the medium between Reggie and Miyamoto.
He is.
Like he's like Miyamoto's the fun goofy guy. Reggie's going to whoop your ass if you say something wrong about Nintendo. And Bill's
Wait, do you not think Reggie's fun?
I think he's fun, but he's very intimidating.
Okay, okay. And then Bill is what?
He's just the guy in the middle. He's like, hey, I'm here. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I feel like if I were working for Nintendo, I would be Bill. I'd be like, yeah, I work for Nintendo. I'm here. I'm happy. Let's do this.
I show up on stages sometimes and translate stuff.
Reggie yelled my name at an E3 a few years ago, and it was really funny. Was it last year or the year before?
I don't remember. Wait, what?
Do you not remember the whole video of, like, Reggie just screaming out Bill's name?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so.
It was really funny, and I sent you a screenshot of it the other day. It's just like a screenshot of Reggie screaming at the top of his lungs.
Which is what he would do.
It is. He's like, you're not having enough fun, Bill. Why are you even bothering?
Why'd you bother? I'm in an empty house.
I'll take Queen of Video Games though. I like that title.
You have to encompass all video games though.
Which after this conference, So I guess if they haven't figured it out by now, we're going to be talking about E3, especially since we told you last week we're going to be talking about E3.
And we gave predictions of what we thought was going to be at E3, which we got some wrong because literally things came out like the next day. It was like, oh, this thing is not going to be there. This thing just got announced to be coming out over to America. And it was like, well, crap. Some things we got right.
Hey, do you not consider that a right that they said that Radiant Historia is coming out?
It's a push. It's not right. It's not wrong.
All right.
Because we said it was going to be at E3. Technically it is, but they basically got out ahead of E3 and was like, hey, we're going to announce this thing's coming out. So
I'll take that as a win for me.
Yeah, sure.
All right.
So we're going to break down each individual press conference, tell you what they announced, give some thoughts, opinions on that sort of stuff.
I want to give an overall, my opinion, before we do this, though. I was overall extremely disappointed with E3 this year. Like, extremely disappointed. I actually fell asleep during, I think, 2 of the press conferences, which is super disappointing. I know that I am like known as the sleepy gal, and it's true. I am always sleepy, but usually I don't fall asleep during video game press conferences. So
Well, you did admit that in last week's episode that you fell asleep during Sony last year. So
I did, and I fell asleep again. Not in Sony, but in a few other ones. So whoops.
whoops.
But it was really, really underwhelming.
There feels like there's a missing aspect to a lot of the press conferences, and I think a lot of that is like there aren't as many like developers coming up on stage giving playable or giving gameplay demos of their games first of all, or even just like giving a pitch of their game. Like I think the reason like why, and we'll get to it later, like Ubisoft felt like it was really good was because pretty much all of their games was like, here's a guy coming up or guy or gal coming up and talking about like, you know, what our game is. We're going to pitch it to you. I don't think they had like as many like, hey, here's a person playing the game on stage, but there was a human element to their presentation that a lot of the other ones kind of didn't have necessarily. Like especially like Microsoft was pretty much like a big trailer focused thing. Bethesda was literally just, here's a bunch of trailers. Like you could have stayed home and watched that.
Right. Sony was too, other than like people hanging from the ceiling, which is weird and shouldn't have happened in the first place.
Yeah.
But they were just trailer reels, and I'm like, all right, I don't care. You literally could have just put them on YouTube and saved me the trouble.
Yeah, but it's like what's the point of coming to E3 and having like a big presentation other than the fact that like, you know, this is traditional and everything, when it's just like we're going to show off a bunch of trailers and that's pretty much it. Like you can go ahead and do that like at any time during the year. Right.
Is it time for E3 to just die? Like, is it a bad tradition that should be like thrown off because there's no need for it anymore? And honestly, Nintendo's kind of proven that there isn't a need for it anymore.
Yeah. I can kind of agree and disagree with you, I think, on that, because like I can agree with you on the fact that like E3 is very weird nowadays. Like the last few years have been very weird, but I still think it's a good thing for like, you know, smaller developers to get out and like network between like other publishers and platforms and all that sort of stuff. So like having these types of events is good for that sort of thing.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily good, I think, for like maybe like because E3's E3's never been like a consumer focused thing. It's always been like here's all like the developers coming together and the press gets to go see them. That was basically been the main focus, and now like they're letting the public in, which seems like a very bad idea in and of itself. But
I also feel like it's become more of a like, and I guess maybe because this is what I see every year, it's become a consumer gamer thing of like, who wins E3, and so you have to become this like weird conglomerate of like we have to win the competition. That it's not a competition, it's a convention, it's a conference. Like, what are you doing? So they're so focused on like trying to wow all of us who is streaming this rather than focusing on what you're talking about, which is like the actual like game developers and networking and trying to figure out how to push gaming forward.
Yeah.
So, maybe instead of getting rid of E3, the issue is the focus of E3.
Yeah, I think that's a very valid point. Like, I think the focus of E3 has kind of just changed a lot over the last couple of years, specifically because it's that question of like, should E3 exist has very much popped up over the last few years, and specifically because look at Sony's press conference like the last couple of years. It's been like, here's a bunch of big AAA games that we're going to show trailers of that pretty much have the same style and tone, and that's pretty much it. Like, yeah. I think the last time Sony kind of had like a knockout, hit it out of the park moment was like the year that the Xbox One and the PS4 were going to ship. And that was basically the year, like, you know, the Xbox One came out. I was like, oh, we're at $499. We still have that DRM stuff. And Sony was like, $399, no DRM. Those guys. And right. It was like, it was crazy. But then, like, afterwards, it's kind of just like, all that kind of, like, fun and everything is kind of just, like, died away. And I don't know, like, how they changed the focus of it pretty much anymore.
I don't know. Like, I miss moments where you have, like, that guy who is so freaking excited about Peggle.
Yeah.
Or like the really shy game developer who was coming out for like Unraveled, and he had the little doll with him. Like, I missed that because that was a really human aspect. Like, you see these people who are making these games and they're excited about making these games and they want you to play them.
Like the one time that actually happened was when Michel Ancel came out and showed off Beyond Good and Evil 2, and he was literally crying on stage like when he came out and like talked about that game, because that game's been very much like widely wanted for
ever
15 years essentially. It's like that was like the most human moment of like the entire show so far.
Yeah.
And it was like only one time that happened.
Instead we get like awkward YouTubers that know nothing about this stuff, that they're like, hey, I'm a guy that does this streaming. What up, people? And I'm like, who are you?
Or here's our game. Let's turn it into an esport.
So that's just, I wanted to talk about like overall opinions of E3, and so that's kind of putting that out there so going into us talking about the conferences. Like,
it was underwhelming.
It was underwhelming. It was very underwhelming, and I do really, really miss that human aspect. Like I said, that guy who was so excited about Peggle made me really excited about Peggle, and I don't even play Peggle.
It was real dumb too.
He was like jumping in the air, and I was like, yeah, that guy's really hyped about what he's putting out there. Like, that's what we need. We need people who are excited about the fact they're making video games.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I understand it's a business, but don't treat it like it's this giant conglomerate when, like, there's a very human element to game making, and I can tell you that because I'm a video game historian. Anyway.
Should we go through all these press conferences now that we've pretty much trashed them?
Yeah, let's do it.
So first off was EA starting on Saturday, because they kind of like, EA's basically kind of like distanced themselves from the ESA and basically like, yeah, we're going to go do our own thing in Hollywood compared to the LA Convention Center. So they have their own press conference. They do like their own 3 days of demos and all that stuff at their own separate location. And then basically by the time the show floor opens for E3 on Tuesday, which is today as of recording this, like their entire thing is wrapped up and done. So what did they start off with? Madden.
Yep.
Which, it's a new Madden game, so obviously, like, there's going to be, like, some new features here and there. The one big thing they're kind of pushing is that it's getting a story mode similar to how FIFA was last year, which that FIFA story mode was actually pretty good in a surprising amount of ways, which you would not imagine from, like, a sports game, per se, which I know, like, the NBA 2K games have kind of, like, been pushing these, like, narrative-focused story modes over the past few years, so EA's finally kind of, like, getting into that realm. And the Madden one seems kind of weird and interesting. Like, it's like, I guess you are a player who basically was big in college, but then randomly just like dropped off the map for some reason. And then you randomly get drafted and everyone's like, are you just going to run away again? So like, that seems kind of interesting. I don't know if it's enough to like make me want to buy Madden, but I think it's enough to make me kind of want to check out that story mode.
I could tell you 100% that it does not make me want to play that.
True.
But I like that they're trying to make it more than just like
sports.
Here's the sport, go play. Yeah. Like they're trying to, I guess, shake up the formula a little, and I'm okay with that. I like that idea.
Like they've had like career. Yeah, they've had career modes in those games like before, but it's basically just like you create a player and then you play the game. There's not really like a lot of like depth to it, I think. So, like, I'm glad they're kind of, like, doing something a little bit more narrative-focused. Speaking of things that you really know a lot about.
Yeah!
Battlefield 1 unleashed their first DLC in the name of the Tsar.
You're being actually serious. I do know a lot about this. Oh, my God. So, Jared had to listen to me rant about World War I and history and the Soviet Union. Well, the Bolshevik Revolution and the beginning of the Soviet Union. We'll put it that way. The fall of the Tsar. Anyway, Battlefield 1 is grossly inaccurate and has been grossly inaccurate. And I know that they try to make it somewhat accurate, but it's not.
Yeah.
And don't bring freaking Russia into this because they had a really, really hard World War I. Oh my God, they had a really hard World War I. So I don't know. I was so irritated by this because it doesn't even seem like they're really trying.
But that could have just been that trailer. Like, we don't know. specifically like what that DLC is going to entail. So maybe it'll be good. Maybe it'll be surprising. But from that trailer, it didn't look like it.
No, and I mean the fact that they're even like talking about the Tsar at all in it is a little suspect. I know. Okay, so World War I, 1914 and 1917. You know, Russia is involved, but Russia's having so much internal conflict at that time that their front is kind of a mess. Essentially, Russia doesn't have good luck in world wars.
Yeah.
But this one in particular was bad because they overthrew their government. Can I play a game where we go through the Bolshevik Revolution? Because that'd be kind of cool.
Shadow Hearts 1.5.
I mean, yeah, but then Anastasia has to die, and she's the best character.
I still think Battlefield 1, this DLC should be Battlefield 1 Cross Shadow Hearts 2. I'd play as Anastasia. You have a ball, and you throw it at everything. One of the cool things I think about this DLC is that they are adding apparently the Women's Battalion of Death, which is a cool name, but also like they're adding like female characters to Battlefield, which that's a cool thing.
I appreciate it. I wish they had done that more with World War II when they were actually like super super important. But
I think they are doing that for Call of Duty.
Are they?
And then people got mad. Like I saw some comments like, "Women weren't alive before 1940." People will get more excited about zombies than they will about women being in Call of Duty. True story.
If I ever teach American or world history, actually specifically world history, they're gonna learn that there were some dang women in World War II and they kicked so much ass. Oh my god.
Up next was FIFA 18. Which is the football game.
I mean, I've played FIFA games before.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, guys, I actually do like soccer. Ha ha ha.
You have a lot of Arsenal kits, so yeah.
I have a lot of Arsenal kits and a couple Orlando City ones.
I think the big thing coming out of this was that they're continuing the story from FIFA 17, which, like I said earlier, like I thought that story was real good. And the way they kind of leave it in the previous game was that they kind of leave it up in the air for a continuation, so I'm real curious to see what they do with that character and like that story in general for this game, which is the most I've been excited for a FIFA game since ever, I think, honestly.
But that's good. That's what they need to be doing is instead of playing the exact same game over and over and over and over and just making it more pretty, like this is giving people a reason to care about FIFA again.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, like FIFA does exceptionally well, like pretty much
I know.
Everywhere. Like they make a lot of money off Ultimate Team, so.
Do you forget that I used to work at GameStop? Like I
know
yeah.
I apologize. They also mentioned that, well, they didn't mention in the press conference, but they mentioned afterwards in a press release that about FIFA 18 for Switch, which pretty much it's basically the same game. It's a different engine, so it's not running on Frostbite, and it doesn't include the story mode, but pretty much all the other features are included.
That's such a shame that they didn't do the story mode, but I guess it's because it's technically a sequel.
And it may just be dependent on that engine as well.
Yeah, 100%. But I mean, the good news is that it's kind of the same.
Yeah, it's not like we talked about last week. It might not. It's not going to be a Wii version of it where it's like here's a kiddie version of FIFA.
So that's
good. It's pretty much just FIFA.
I saw a trailer for it. It looked fine.
Yeah,
it really did. Like it looked really okay. Like especially compared to I've seen the Wii versions and like woo, that's a nightmare.
Having sports games on the go is a good idea. Like
yeah,
I hope I know NBA 2K18 is going to be on Switch, so like hope eventually like they all kind of just put out their entire catalog on there. So like Madden, NHL, probably not NBA Live because that game's probably never going to come out. So like just pretty much like all the sports games come out.
It would be so smart, especially because you're saying it's on the go.
Mm-hmm. Need for Speed Payback, which is pretty much a Need for Speed game that wants to be the Fast and Furious.
Was this the one with the like weird go up against the truck and get the car thing?
This is the one. Yeah. This is the one that had like all the burnout takedowns and stuff.
Oh, I was so upset because I wanted there to be something really cool in that truck. I thought it was going to be important. Then a freaking car comes out.
Yeah,
like,
a Koenigsegg. It's a very fast car.
I don't know what that means.
It's a hypercar.
I wanted it to be something important.
Yeah, a hypercar.
Like, government secrets or something.
There's government secrets in that car. What if I told you that?
It could be a UFO in there. Why is this semi truck driving so fast and so dangerously? Because it has a car in there.
Look, have you watched any of the Fast and Furious movies? That's pretty much all they do.
No. Why would I do that?
Because they're good.
I don't like cars. Like
I know.
I drive mine where it needs to go. I put gas and oil in it, and I like sometimes wash it.
That game looked okay. I think it's definitely improving upon the last Need for Speed game, which was just self-titled Need for Speed and was like an FMV game too.
Ugh.
I think basically trying to make a Fast and Furious game without the license though, it's smart.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. It makes a lot of sense. Like I said, it was pretty.
Yeah, definitely. I would agree with you there.
I was like, that looks like a car.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it looks like a car.
So, and I do have to give them props. They had the lady driving the super fast car.
Yeah.
Vroom, vroom. So, I mean,
Vroom,
at least
vroom.
they're not leaving the ladies out of the car driving, because I know that some women are super into cars.
Yeah. A Way Out, the next game from the creator of Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons, which is a co-op only game about breaking out of prison and then stuff happens afterwards.
So we both had a lot to say about this because it looked cool.
Yeah.
But you said you can't play it because it's co-op.
It's local co-op, and online co-op, but pretty much you need someone you know to play that game because there's a lot of like intricate features about like playing together and everything, and you need communication.
And I mean, my joke was that I've had enough family members in jail that
Yeah.
I don't want to go there on my own. So, I'll pass. I just the idea of prisons really makes me uncomfortable.
Yeah, that's fair. I think it looked all right. I think
It looked fine.
a co-op only game coming from the guy who made Brothers, which is pretty much like you control two characters with both analog sticks. Like this makes a whole lot of sense.
Yeah, it makes a ton of sense. It would have been cool if he'd found a way to implement like a single player controlling both of them method, but I understand.
I think with the way like that game looks and like how intricate all like the different co-ops the things are, like it would have been real tough to make that thing like a single player thing.
Yeah, I understand.
But it looked cool, so like
It
good
did.
on you for if you can play that game.
I hope other people will play it.
Yeah.
It just won't be me or you.
Yeah.
Sorry.
BioWare briefly teased Anthem. It was basically like, yeah, if you want to see more, watch the Microsoft press conference. So we'll talk about that when we get to Microsoft. NBA Live 18. They basically showed off some modes that have been in the NBA 2K games for a long time. Really, the only thing that I question is like, is that game even going to come out? Because the NBA Live 17 was supposed to come out in March and then never showed up, and now there's like NBA Live 18, guys, huh? And like the last two NBA Live games have been real bad, and then compounded with the fact that they canceled NBA Elite 2010. EA has not made a good basketball game in literally like 10 years. So. And then they finished with Star Wars Battlefront 2, because of course they did.
For 30 minutes.
Which, hey, they showed off a lot of gameplay of that game.
They did.
And with actual people playing that game.
So that was cool. I was really upset after the press conference because I went to see like commentary from like internet people, which is always a mistake. Don't ever go look at comments. But so much of the focus was just on the woman and like how she looked. And I know she's an actress and everything, and they were putting her out there because she's pretty and she's an actress, and also
kind of like halfway talking about EA and that thing.
Yeah, she was. But it was kind of gross that it became like, hey, let's talk about how hot her boobs look instead of talking about like Battlefront. So it was a little upsetting.
Not surprising though, considering the internet is a terrible place. Don't go on the internet.
100% agree. It's not at all surprising. Also, I saw that her dress was up for pre-order, but it doesn't come with a belt or those red stripes on it. So I was like, it's just a black dress at this point. Also, it's a mullet dress, so I don't want it.
Mullet dress.
It is a mullet dress.
I know. It's God, that term.
I'm happy that they're addressing people's concerns because that's a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just interested to see how it actually is implemented, like if it's done well.
Yeah.
So.
Up next was Microsoft on Sunday. Sunday. Microsoft's big question coming in was, all right, what's Project Scorpio?
Yep.
They got to talk about it, and they talked about it. They unveiled the new name for Project Scorpio, the Xbox One X. Gonna give it to you.
Oh my god.
Which, I mean, the dumb thing about the Xbox One X is if you take out the acronyms, X, B for box, O for one, X, it's Xbox.
Xbox. Yep.
Which is kind of dumb and kind of funny, but yeah. They talked. Yeah, they talked about the technical details to it. It's got 30,000 teraflops or whatever. I don't know. It's the most powerful game console ever made. We witnessed the most powerful game console ever made.
They made shirts.
Which, man. Ooh, boy. So that thing is coming out November 7th. And they waited until the end to talk about the price.
They did.
And if that was pretty much a big red flag for it. $499, which I will say I predicted last week.
You did. Good job.
Thank you.
You're the best.
That's right. Phil Spencer, you can send me an Xbox One X now because I predicted the price. Obviously, call me.
I'm for sure you're not the only one.
Yeah, that's gonna be real tricky.
That's a hard sell.
That's a hard sell, especially when the PS4 Pro is $100 cheaper. I mean, it is a less powerful console than the Xbox One X. The Xbox One X will do true 4K. The PS4 Pro doesn't. Xbox One X has a Ultra 3 HD Blu-ray player in it, which the Xbox One S also has, which we should also mention phonetically. That's a bad name, because let me say we're talking on the phone. Yeah, Grandma, can you get me the Xbox One X? Which one did I say?
Something about sex.
Yeah, that's exactly right. The Xbox One X. So there's going to be some confused people getting Xbox One S's or Xbox One X's. So yeah. Also, that thing is not available for pre-order yet because the FCC has not approved it.
That's a mess.
That's a mess.
That's such a bad decision.
But yeah, it is. I mean, it is the most powerful console. I don't know if $100. I guess it also is curious to see like how people are going to adapt to 4K and all that stuff as well, because that's what that console is for. I mean, they also said like, hey, if you don't have a 4K TV, you'll get faster load times. It'll look better. Performance-wise, it'll be better as well. So you do have benefits in that, but I don't think going out and spending $500 on a new console just for that is a good idea, unless like your Xbox One's breaking. Yeah. In that case, like, yeah, sure, go ahead and do it. Well, even in that case, I would say go get an Xbox One S, since they're $250. Right.
Exactly.
And even that, like, does a little bit of, like, I think improvements on games as well. And has, like, you know, the Ultra HD Blu-ray player and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, I still have the VHS Xbox One, so.
Yeah, you do. I think the one thing I'm kind of bummed about with the presentation of the console itself, the dev kits had, like, this cool, like, OLED screen on the front of it. So you could, like, see, like, FPS and all that sort of stuff, or they could, like, put the game logo on there. And that's missing from, like, the home console version, which I'm not surprised in the slightest that they took that thing out. But I think I like cool little screens on things.
That's why you love the Vita.
It's true. Hashtag Vita never die. First game they showed off was Forza 7, which no surprise there. That game looked real good. They debuted a new Porsche 911. Huh? Off. Porsches.
I don't know what that is.
All Porsche 911s look the same, so like that thing was not impressive in the slightest. But yeah, that Forza 7 looked great. They were also like showing off like female drivers, which I think is a first for that series, at least for mainline Forza maybe. And it also seemed like they are modeling like the actual driver, so like they showed off some scenes in their trailer of a car hitting a wall and like the driver inside reacting to that, which I think is real cool. It's a real like small touch that like nerds like me who are big into like car games and racing games would react to, but for everyone else it'd be like whatever. But I mean, yeah, the game looks good.
I mean, if you run into a wall, you're gonna have to react a little.
Well, I mean, like
Just
most
like
games, like the driver outside will just be static there, and it's like, nothing happened.
meh.
Yeah. So yeah, 4-7. Pretty much what you expect. Next they showed off the new Metro game, Metro Exodus, which looked like some real staged gameplay because there was like no HUD or anything, and everything was kind of just like very much exactly what you would expect to happen. Essentially, it was like, here's all these canned things that are gonna happen, and we kind of react to. It's a new Metro game. People like those games. So
Yeah, people like them.
Yeah. Up next, they showed off Assassin's Creed Origins, which was the first look for that. It's set in Egypt, I guess before all the other Assassin's Creed games. I'm real curious to see how this game's going to do because, man, people have Assassin's Creed fatigue like crazy. I know like they took a year off last year, but that game still looks like Assassin's Creed. I mean, there are some like interesting elements I think to it. Like the combat seems a little bit different, and it's a loot game now, which is real weird.
That is really, really weird.
I mean, I'm all for loot games, so but I'm probably not gonna pick this up.
The one thing that I really liked about Assassin's Creed, I liked the gameplay on the first two, but I really liked the like grounding in history.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's lost a lot of that.
Yeah. I thought the last game was pretty good because it was set in like 19th century London, and I think that's like a cool time period in and of itself.
But did it have to be Assassin's Creed?
Yeah, exactly. And did you have to like run into Charles Dickens or Karl Marx and people from history like that? But also, this is the game that had like in Assassin's Creed 2 where Leonardo da Vinci was like your inventor, creator dude who like made stuff for your character.
Yeah.
It's had weird like that, so.
But they also talked about the Medicis, and I like that because they're not really well known. I mean, they're very, very popular, well-known people at the time, but like if you go and ask somebody on the street, like, do you know that the Medicis, they're gonna be like, brr? I'm also surprised they picked Egypt because people have been calling for Assassin's Creed to be in China forever.
They made a China Assassin's Creed game. It was a 2D side scroller.
No wonder nobody pays attention to it. But literally people have been saying like, I want an Assassin's Creed like origin story in China. I mean, Egypt's cool. Egypt has some really fascinating stuff.
I think when I heard something like about this like later on, like I think last night after people had played like demos of it, was that like I guess this game is kind of set in the time period of like after Greece had taken over Egypt.
Okay.
So like that seems kind of interesting because I guess there's some struggle between like here's these Grecians, that's 100% what they were called, like getting bullied by a bunch of Egyptians and stuff like that, like, and you have to like go solve.
You know they're called Greeks, right?
Grecians. I don't know.
They're called
yeah. But like anyway, I think like the politics of that could be like real cool for like that setting, but hopefully they actually do something neat with it.
That's a pretty cool time period of Egyptian history and also Greek history. So if they brought in a historian who knows something about that, they might have the potential to pull off something really, really rad. But I don't have high hopes because
it's also Assassin's Creed.
Has not been good since like
2.
What was the one that came after 2?
Brotherhood.
Brotherhood
was a good game.
So.
Yeah. Up next, they showed off PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. It's coming to Xbox One console launch exclusive, which pretty much means it's going to go into like their early access program on Xbox One, and then eventually it will come out to like PS4 and everything. It makes 100% sense that this game would come to consoles. I know they kind of like had rumored it, considering this is the big multiplayer game that's been happening over the last few months. So it's cool that things getting a console release. And then State of Decay 2, the sequel to State of Decay, which had some ridiculous amounts of violence in that trailer. Like, holy crap.
I actually literally threw up.
Like, yeah, I saw you text me that. I was like, what happened? And then I saw what happened. I was like, oh, God. Like, what the f***?
It was really, really rough. And I personally have a lot of issues like seeing guts Like
yeah.
blood doesn't usually bother me. Like you can pretty much throw as much blood in there as you want to, and the whole thing in Game of Thrones is like girls see blood, that doesn't bother them. But like once you throw in guts and like ripping people in half and stuff, I'm like, ugh.
That was real messed up.
I literally threw up during Microsoft's press conference, and that's really upsetting.
I thought the first State of Decay was a real interesting take on like the zombie style of games because like it introduced like permadeath and things like that for like characters that you meet and everything. I'm sure this game's gonna have like that stuff as well. I think they also have like base building mechanics in it, so that's interesting. I don't really want to play a zombie game, so
I'll say I'm so tired of zombies.
Apparently game developers aren't though.
No, I mean, the last time I really, really had fun with zombies was like Left 4 Dead.
Yeah.
And that was years ago.
Yeah, it's true.
So, like, can we get more creative than zombies at this point? Like,
no.
I don't know.
No, can't.
I was going to say bring in vampires, but then they did bring in vampires, so.
Yeah, there's like multiple vampire games coming out.
Maybe bring in some werewolves. I don't know. There's some lore out there. Bring in some ghosts. Let's fight some ghosts.
Too spooky.
Too spoopy.
Luigi already sucked up all the ghosts, so we can't do ghosts.
You know what? Luigi's Mansion was like one of the greatest games on the GameCube. Period. A+ would play again. Also, the 3DS one was fun too.
I have that 3DS one.
Yeah, it's awesome.
The Darwin Project was that game where like it looked like another like weird indie game, and then it turned into esports.
Esports.
Yeah, that didn't really go over well.
Nope.
Minecraft.
Now in 4K.
Now in 4K, because yeah, you need Minecraft in 4K. They're allowing texture pack mods, I think, now for console Minecraft. Also, you'll be able to play with Nintendo Switch players, which is something we'll talk about later on, because you can do the Connect Anywhere, like Rocket League for Switch also has this, but basically Sony said no to both of those because they want to protect their user base, which seems real dumb.
Yeah, it's bad when Nintendo's like, yeah, we're in, and then Sony's like, no, we have to protect our user base. Like, Nintendo is known for wanting to protect user base, so, like, Sony, you just look ridiculous.
For me, this next game is a potential game of show, and it sounds completely bonkers. Dragon Ball Fighter Z.
Oh, I expected that 100% from you. Like,
well, specifically,
you were stoked.
Yeah, it's because this game is made by the Guilty Gear XRD developers, and they're using that engine, and that engine looks f***ing phenomenal. Like those Guilty Gear games they did with that engine, like, are literally one of the best looking games I've seen ever. And the way this game looks as well, like, holy f***ing shit. I'm so excited for this game in a way like I never thought I'd be excited for like a Dragon Ball Z fighting game ever. So that thing looks amazing. So
many people on my Facebook feed were really stoked about it.
Yeah. I was hoping, like, the one thing I was thinking was like, if they never did like a Persona 5 fighting game, I hope they do it in that same engine, because it looks so good.
That'd be rad.
Yeah. Apparently Black Desert Online is coming to Xbox One, which is a PC MMORPG. So there you go. South Korean MMOs coming. This next game is the quickest I've ever seen a game go from, hey, that looks cool, to, no, I'm never buying that game. Last night.
I'm 100% on the, no, I'm never buying the last night. I'm never giving that man money.
Yep. 100%. Don't reveal yourself to be a gamergator, and then show that in the 3 years since like your postings have been found that you haven't changed at all.
Right. People were like, oh, he's changed. But then, like, I saw that there was a tweet from, like, April that he was still being an absolute butthead. So I'm like, nope, no money whatsoever. And also, like, apparently it's a very anti-socialist story.
It's like, what if feminism won and made everything bad?
Or what if everybody had a universal income and then, like, creativity was stifled?
Bad.
And
yeah,
I'm
like,
creativity would not be stifled if everybody had a universal income. Like, you're an idiot and you don't understand how anything works. So no, I will not buy that game, even though I initially legitimately said, "Hey, that looks cool," and then you're like, "No, man, this guy's a gamer gator." I'm like, "Nope, nope, nope,
Yep.
never mind. I'm done. I'm out."
Legitimately the quickest I've ever seen a turnaround on a game ever.
Yeah.
Because it was like an
As it
hour.
should be.
Yeah, 100%. And like the
Like-
way like the developer was like, or the publisher developer was like, but we know him. He's not that bad of a guy. It was like
He's
the
a good
most
guy.
tone deaf thing ever. It's like
Yeah,
off.
it was terrible. That guy's he's a trash bag, and I'm never giving him money. And I hope that other people don't give him money as well. But I also saw again on the internet that people are very much willing to give him money.
Of course.
Yep.
The Artful Escape was next, which I don't remember at all.
I don't remember that at all. That's bad.
I'm gonna watch this trailer. Well, there's an advertisement coming, so. Well, here we go. Oh, this was the This is a 2D indie game. It was like the guy with the guitar.
Oh, that one.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't remember that. It didn't really make a big impression.
It
on
looks
me.
fine. Like it's got some. It's got
It
style.
looks fine.
It might be all right.
It does. This game's got style. This game's got grace.
Code Vein.
Okay, so I fully admit that they're like, here, have this game, and it was super anime in style. I'm like, yeah, I kind of.
So this is the new game from the developers of God Hand, and which is a Monster Hunter like game, and it's about vampires from Bandai Namco.
And the character design is very anime.
So from what I've heard, like the combat is Dark Souls-esque though, so I wonder how well that's gonna play into your liking of this game. But I've only heard like very rumors of that. So
so that might potentially be a hit.
I mean, it might not be like
Could-
here's like super hard game like Dark Souls or anything like that is, but it might have like
Oh.
maybe like a similar style of combat, but who knows. But you're right, like that game had some style. It looked cool for like an anime thing, especially from the creators of God Hand, which is a series that looks good, but it's a series that I really don't want to play because I don't really get into Monster Hunter style of games.
Yeah. I liked that the main character that it showed, like he had an interesting mask, and so that kind of drew me in. I know that sounds really superficial, but I was really intrigued by his mask. I think that's pretty much the entire plot of the Phantom of the Opera.
It's a vampire Phantom of the Opera. There you go.
Yeah.
Sea of Thieves was up next, which you noped the out of.
Oh, they put a shark in there. I was like, nope, nope, no.
Which is a good thing you noped the out of there because they ended that trailer with a shark too.
Did they really?
Mm-hmm.
I had to tell Jared for context, guys. Like, I saw the shark and I shut my laptop and I was like, you have to tell me why and come back in because I can't do this. I cannot deal with sharks. And so I will never play this game. And also, I will never play this game because what have you become, Rare?
Yeah, so this is the next, the new 4-player co-op game from Rare, which they showed off last year. They showed off some like some more stuff about it, like going finding treasure with your pals, shooting some dudes with your pals, shooting yourself from a cannon onto another ship, and then fighting dudes, eating a banana without peeling it.
Ew.
Yeah, that's literally a thing they have in that game.
Why?
I don't know.
Maybe it's like a pirate thing that you don't want scurvy, and so you eat the peel.
Yeah, that's a bad idea. Anyways,
I mean, so is scurvy.
Yeah, that game, I mean, it didn't really do much for me. So.
Oh, it did a lot for me, but it wasn't.
It did a lot for you, yeah. They gave a release date to Tacoma, the new game from the developers of Gone Home, coming out August 2nd. I'm very, 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 very excited for this. A space game from the people who made Gone Home.
Ooh.
So I'm excited for that. Super Lucky's Tale was very weird because Lucky's Tale was an Oculus Rift exclusive game.
Yep.
And then this isn't a VR game at all. So, yeah. Real strange there. Also, I guess Lucky's Tale wasn't that great, so. Cuphead got a release date.
Yeah, it did.
Coming out September 29th, finally.
Oh, I want to play Cuphead so bad.
That game looks so good.
It's got so much style.
I'm glad they kind of like they changed it from like the initial pitch was like it's a boss rush game. And now it's got like some like death between levels and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, September 29th. Crackdown 3 finally showed up again. it got a release date of November 7th, and also Terry Crews is in the game.
I would say, and also Terry Crews, which is genius.
I am real curious about this game because in the time between this and Crackdown 2, Saints Row 4 kind of happened and made a Crackdown game that was like better than like the last Crackdown game. So
yeah, I haven't played a Crackdown since 1.
Which I guess is the best one. So
yeah.
But hey,
so at least I came out on top.
Yeah. And also, I guess they've kind of changed some of like the way they pitched that game originally in like 2013. We're like, oh, with the power of the cloud, you can destroy pretty much everything in the game. And now that's not technically true. I guess they're doing it in the multiplayer of it, and that's it. Power of the cloud.
Okay.
4K clouds. Ashen. It's an action RPG. I don't really remember it, honestly.
I don't remember it either. Like,
Look,
you're saying the name, and
yeah.
I'm like, meh.
Microsoft showed off like 46 games. We're going to forget a few here and there.
Yeah. Well, and I saw, again, on the internet that people were really, really mad because everything was like exclusive. Like, that's kind of what they were supposed to do.
The one criticism I will say about this Microsoft press conference, it was a lot of exclusives, third-party exclusives, not a lot of first-party exclusive stuff.
Not at all.
So that's kind of concerning from Microsoft and Sony, honestly.
Yeah. And also, like, they did a few of the like false exclusives where like they'd show it and then
console launch exclusive.
Right.
Which is like, hey, it's coming on Xbox One first. And that's it. Life is Strange Before the Storm, which is a prequel to Life is Strange, a 3-episode thing where you play as Chloe, who is one of the main characters in Life is Strange. I'm tentative about this thing because I didn't necessarily want like that story to continue or anything. Like, and basically the prequel is just like, hey, you meet the character that's missing throughout the entire game of Life is Strange, and you see that relationship.
Really like that game.
Yeah. Another thing that came out about this game though that's real interesting is that Ashley Birch, who voiced the character of Chloe in Life is Strange, isn't voicing the character due to the SAG-AFTRA strike.
Oh.
Which is, I think, the first time I've seen like the strike actually affect a game. So that's real interesting. But like it is a prequel, so like it would be a younger version of that character. So I think you could get away with having that voice be a little bit different.
But Ashley Birch is good.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a real hit on it to not have her.
That is.
She's talented.
Yeah. They're also doing, I think, like a special edition of it, which comes with like DLC costumes and all that stuff, and like a mixtape thing where you can like just play all the soundtrack of the game in it, which is cool because like that soundtrack of that game is real good. And then they're doing like a bonus mission where you get to play as Max, the main character of the first game when she was younger too. So probably gonna have to buy that one.
Well, you're sold.
Yeah. At least they are doing like an actual sequel, which is, I think it's supposed to be like they're not touching that story at all. Like it's gonna be like completely new cast, new location, all that sort of stuff. Which
that's a good idea.
Yeah, because I think the prequel is made by a completely different development team too, so it's not even Don't Nod. Ori and the Will of the Wisps, the sequel to Ori and the Blind Forest, they showed off. Apparently that Ori and the Blind Forest game is supposed to be real good. So
I own it. I haven't played it, but we were talking and saying that now is a good time for me to play it.
There's never been a better time.
Yeah, it's really pretty.
Yeah.
And I've heard good things about it. I just haven't had time to play it.
Yeah.
I suppose I say as I replay like games that I've already played before.
They also announced backwards compatibility with the OG Xbox. The Xbox One. Which they did eventually come out and say like, oh, you will be able to pop in discs, and if you had digital downloads from like the 360, like those licenses will carry over, which is good and smart.
That's very smart.
They didn't announce a lot of games for it. I think they announced like Crimson Skies and maybe like one other thing. But I
only remember Crimson Skies.
We've talked about this, but like I'm very curious to see if they ever talk about like the tech that went into like being able to emulate the original Xbox for the Xbox One. If it was just like the Xbox One had a better hardware and able to do that, because the whole talk when they were doing that for 360 was that like it was a nightmare to emulate the original Xbox. So I hope eventually they do come out and talk about that. But yeah,
that'd be rad.
It's a cool thing to do.
Yeah, it's a good idea, even though like the original Xbox doesn't have a ton of games that I'm like, wow, I really
Yeah,
need
that's
to play
true.
that.
And it's also smart coming off the heels of Sony being like, backwards compatibility, only a niche amount of the audience wants that. That's dumb. And then they also talked about games getting 4K updates for Xbox One games, including Gears 4, Forza Horizon 3, Killer Instinct, Halo Wars 2, Minecraft, like we talked about, and then like Resident Evil 7, Rocket League. And then they showed off Anthem, finally. Which is the game they ended with, which is obviously the new BioWare IP from BioWare Montreal, the makers of Minecraft? No. Mass Effect 1 through 3. Excuse me.
I just saw a bunch of hopping around and like it looked like a jetpack. I don't know what it was.
It doesn't look like a BioWare game. It looks like BioWare making Destiny. Which I don't know what to think of that.
Yeah, I don't know. I probably wouldn't play it because I haven't played anything that's I don't know. I played Mass Effect 1.
The best Mass Effect game.
Yeah, I agree with you on that, but I'm just
I'm just curious to see like how that thing like shapes up in development.
No, I agree.
Because it's weird
I'm
looking.
really intrigued to see, and it's also like new IP, which yay.
Yeah.
So you know, I'll keep it on the back burner and keep an eye on it.
This didn't mention it, but like they did do like a sizzle reel of a bunch of like indie stuff, I think as well. Whereas like just a bunch of little indie games like all scattered throughout. I think that was their ID at Xbox segment, which they showed off Ooblets, which is a game that's coming out I think next year, but that looks real cool. It's like
that one did look cool.
Yeah, it's like this like farming, social, animal collecting game that has like this real neat art style. So
I love the art.
Yeah, I'm real looking forward to that. And that was Microsoft.
Yay, Microsoft, you're done.
People applauded at that $4.99 announcement, which, whoo, buddy.
Why?
I mean, the Microsoft press conference was like full of like Microsoft fans, so.
They're always full of fanboys.
Yeah.
It's like all the conferences are always full of fanboys.
Yeah, that's true. Next up was Bethesda at 12 midnight.
I was asleep.
Yes, you were. They did their whole thing outside because they made like an amusement park.
What?
Yeah, their like presentation was called Bethesda Land. And then they started off the show with like a bunch of kids because like if we're gonna guilt trip you into if you say anything bad about us, you had to watch all these kids talk about their parents and their jobs. First thing they showed, Doom, VFR. Get it? VFR, virtual reality. Ha. It didn't look great because it was like a teleporting thing, like a lot of VR games are. So, but Doom was a really good game. Don't mess it up, please.
Yeah, VR is just.
And then they followed that up with Fallout 4 VR, which is like legit VR. Like I think the full game is playable in VR essentially. Which they.
I'm still.
I mean, yeah, they talked about that last year. I'm real curious to see if that game actually runs better than it did on like PC and consoles because that game didn't run great. They only talked about it coming to Vive in October, so maybe that thing's just not even coming out to PS4 for the VR. Also, I guess I forgot to mention, but Phil Spencer did come out, I guess, give a statement to CNET today talking about the Xbox One S or Xbox One X and how and how that thing will have VR support of some kind. But they didn't say like how. VR's a thing. Welcome to the VR train.
It makes me sick.
Like literally, yeah.
No, I mean it does. It makes me really sick because I usually don't have motion sickness issues, but when it becomes like first person, I get really motion sick.
Yeah.
I had the same issue playing Mirror's Edge.
Yeah.
And that wasn't even VR, but like all the movement and the shakiness and how unstable VR is. And again, with Mirror's Edge, it was unstable because she was parkouring.
Yeah.
I get super sick.
That makes sense.
I tried to watch like the Danganronpa VR.
And you were like, nope.
I legitimately felt like I was going to puke.
That's fair.
Yeah.
They showed off the new Elder. Yeah. They showed off the new Elder Scrolls Online DLC, Morrowind, which I think just recently came out, and like their trailer was like a bunch of people reacting to a previous trailer of it.
Oh my god.
It wasn't great. They announced the Creation Club, which is basically Bethesda being like, hey, you guys remember paid mods and how we had to drop that? Well, we're bringing it back. So you will be able to buy paid mods in Skyrim and Fallout 4.
Or, and just hear me out, I could not.
I think both those games have mod support where you can get free mods anyways, so on console and PC. I mean, I'm of two minds of this. Like, it kind of sucks that you have to pay for mods, but also mod creators should be compensated in some way, I think.
I have no opinion.
Do you have an opinion on the greatest card game ever made, The Elder Scrolls Legends? And his new expansion coming out June 29th?
Bethesda, go home. You're drunk.
Oh, by the way, Skyrim's coming to Switch.
Yeah, I did see that, and that was pretty rad.
With amiibo support.
Yeah.
Which, man, that was real dumb.
I saw the Master Sword, and I'm like, oh, buddy.
Their Skyrim model of Link, like the way that character is real bad.
Awful.
Also, that game has motion controls.
I mean, motion controls can work.
No one's gonna play Skyrim with motion controls.
I mean, I played Breath of the Wild with motion controls.
Because you had to.
Right. And it worked fine, except for in certain puzzles.
Fine.
I mean, aiming with like a bow and arrow and stuff, it worked fine.
I turned that off. I mean, it's an interesting idea to do that for this version, but I think people are going to try that once and then be like, nope, and be done with it. And just play it like a regular game.
I'm sad because I think that's the first time that Link has been just like horrifically unattractive.
Super weird. They showed off a new Dishonored standalone thing, I guess, called Death of the Outsider.
That sounds racist. Sorry.
Quake Champions. They're adding BJ Blazkowicz from Wolfenstein into that thing.
Oh my god.
And they put it out in open beta, which is smart.
Yeah.
The Evil Within 2. Because, man, people really love that first game.
I don't even remember the first game.
This is the Shinji Mikami game, I think.
Oh.
And that first game was real notorious because, like, it had a really bad day one patch to where, like, if you had no online, like, that game was, like, real rotten. Like, virtually unplayable. And also this game, the trailer had, like, a weird cover of Duran Duran's song.
Can we, as a group, collectively decide to stop doing this?
Nope, apparently not.
Why are we doing this?
Because we hate ourselves. Because everyone saw Gears of War and Mad World and was like, we still have to continue trying to copy that.
But that wasn't even made for Gears of War. It was made for Donnie Darko.
I mean, I doubt like that song was made for this Evil Within trailer.
I want to freaking throw myself off the freaking balcony. Can we stop doing this, guys? It's not funny. It's not edgy. It's not clever. It's just annoying. And also, I love Duran Duran, so leave them alone. Gah!
They finished off with Wolfenstein 2, the new Colossus, which looked f***ing great.
They did.
The real crazy thing was, like, they started off with, like, these vintage TV shows that were basically like, what if these were 60s TV shows, but the Nazis did them? And it was real surreal and, like, weird looking. Also, like, that game showed off, like, hey, it's in America. So, like, you have literal KKK members, like, walking the streets with Nazi members. And it's like, they're going there, pretty much.
You sent me a text message. It was like, so pretty much it's 2017. And it was too real for me for a minute.
I kind of felt, like, man, this is pretty real. But, like, also, I want a game where I can shoot Nazis.
Yeah.
Also, it pissed off a lot of like alt-right people as well, apparently.
Oh, it did.
Which
I made a joke
God.
because you were saying that it pissed off all the alt-right people, and I was like, oh, but I thought that they weren't Nazis. Ah. So anyway.
We also talked about this a little bit. Like, I'm real curious to see like what the weird pop culture stuff they do in this game is, because like the New Order we talked about, like Jimi Hendrix is a character in like your anti-Nazi squad, which is nuts. There's a German version of the Beatles that play the same songs but are just like propagandized.
Seems legit.
Like, what if this game has like, since this is in America, like Nazi Elvis Presley?
Oh my god.
Like, I can see them going there with that, like... But yeah, like, that thing looked real good. The next day, following day... Ubisoft. Ubisoft.
Oh my god, you did not just say that. You did not.
Ubisoft, girl.
I mean, I am.
So they basically...
But also Ubisoft...
So they basically started this thing off with the one question that people had on their minds. What the is Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle?
And I am legitimately surprised.
So they brought out Miyamoto. He had a gun.
He did have a gun. Not a real gun, mind you.
And they shut off the thing. Like, they kind of like did like a little bit of like a talking back and forth between him and Yves Guillemot. And it was like, one of the things I saw from that thing was like, they talked about Miyamoto being like, he said to the developers, make a Mario game that's never been made before. And I was like, okay, sure. They made a Mario game that's never been made before. They made Mario XCOM. And it's crazy.
I legitimately have been so skeptical about this game. Like, I was like, oh no, this is going to be terrible. There's no way. I saw the marketing for it.
Yeah.
It was garbage. I was so upset. And then you showed me the trailer and the pictures and everything because I was at work, and I was like, oh my god, this game is actually looking like it's not going to be actual trash. And I legitimately have pre-ordered it now.
Like, they kind of showed off as like, oh, here's like this, you're running around the world and all that sort of stuff. And it's like, no, this game looks good. And then they're like, okay, well, now we're going to get into combat. And I was like, the way it kind of looked, I was like, oh, is this going to be like a strategy RPG? And then like it was like, no, this is XCOM. And I was like, what the is this game? Like, man, I genuinely shocked at how much I was impressed with that thing.
Yeah, I was too. I mean, we've talked, and you know how much I've been like, oh, this looks bad. And then, like I said, I've pre-ordered this game at this point because I'm like, wow, I'm actually intrigued. This looks cool. And as weird as it sounds, I almost don't care if it is at all bad because I want to like support the fact that they're trying something different. Yeah,
it's real cool that Nintendo's like letting the reins loose on their characters a bit, to being like, hey, Ubisoft, do you want to go make a game with our characters in it? Go right ahead. And just like, it's insane. It's crazy.
I mean, it looks like it would be fun. Also, I was dying laughing because Luigi's gun is a vacuum.
Yeah. It's real good.
I was in love. I was immediately in love. The greatest thing I've ever seen.
And that thing's out August 29th, so that's real soon.
It's real soon. That's my parents' anniversary.
Happy anniversary. You give Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle. They showed off more Assassin's Creed Origins, so not much more else to talk about that game. But I mean, they had the game director come out and like talk about it, so like, hey, it's a little better than the Microsoft press conference.
Right, yeah. I mean, there's actually some kind of like context of like, again, we've mentioned it, but they're bringing out people who are involved and explaining the process of why this game is going to be like it's going to be.
Yeah.
They had Miyamoto out there, and they're like, hey, this is the thing. And I like that. I like that they did that.
Yeah.
Anyway, continue.
Next up was the Crew 2. Crew 2? I think the Crew has like, it's an interesting and cool idea of like, you're driving literally across the country and doing like races and everything. But like that first game had like a lot of different problems that kind of made it stumble out of the blocks. Like, I'm real curious to see if this game improves like on like the technical stuff and making AI not be like weird and everything. And then also like they're adding in like airplanes and like boats and stuff to it, so they're just kind of going all out with it. But like
all the vehicles.
But yeah, if they're able to like iron out like a bunch of like the technical aspects of that game, like it could be really cool. There's another South Park trailer, which and then there's a mobile game coming out, which
meh.
They unveiled a new VR game called Transference, which is from Elijah Wood's film production company.
Yeah, I saw the trailer for this later.
It looks weird.
It does look really
in like
weird.
A cool way, but like, man, what? Like, it's like the whole thing is like, we're gonna get inside your mind. We're gonna make you the mind freak.
Oh my god.
So yeah, I mean that's cool.
Yeah, I mean, I won't play it, but
Skull and Bones is basically the team from Ubisoft Shanghai was like, they made Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag.
Okay.
And
already uninterested.
Well, like they were the team like they did all that boat stuff in that game, so they're like, what if we made a boat game? Because a lot of people like that boat stuff in that game, so that's a 5v5 PvP game, and it's pretty much just the boat stuff from Assassin's Creed 4, so people are gonna like that.
Oh, I'm sure they will.
And,
I'm just not
smart.
one of them.
Yeah. They showed off Just Dance 2018. A panda went out there and dabbed.
A panda did dab. And didn't you say it's coming out on the Wii?
Yeah, it's coming out on the Wii. It's literally coming out for everything. It's like PS4, PS3, Xbox One, Xbox 360, Switch, Wii U, Wii.
Oh my god.
Literally everything.
That's so weird.
They announced Starlink Battle for Atlas. Finally, we're going to fight for Atlas. We're going to kick Hoshino out. No, this is a sci-fi game. It is a Toys to Life game, but instead of like getting characters to buy, you get ships, because you have like this thing that connects your like straps onto your controller, and that's the thing like you're like your dock for like your ships and everything, and you can like swap out weapons and everything like on the fly on like the actual ship you have. It seemed really cool in a way like Toys to Life games didn't for me. Like it seemed like a Toys to Life game that wasn't like, here's a game that's strictly for kids.
Yeah.
It was kind of like a thing like, oh, like pretty much anyone could do this, but also it's a Toys to Life game, so and also that game's coming out in fall 2018, so that's a long ways away.
Ugh.
Steep.
Like tea?
Steep.
Like tea?
No.
Aw.
The video game Steep.
I know, I'm making jokes.
I know. They unveiled their first DLC called Road to the Olympics, which is very smart. Yeah. It looked really good in a way that I think actual Steep didn't.
I didn't even remember that Steep was a thing.
Pretty much a lot of people did. Steep's supposedly still coming out for the Switch, which, sure, why not?
Okay, sure.
I'm kind of a sucker for Olympics games.
Well, you have a Switch, and it's coming out.
But I don't want to buy Steep. But yeah, like it seemed like it was like a bunch of the Winter Olympics like sports that would factor into Steep. So it was like skiing, snowboarding, that sort of stuff.
It's really smart though.
I don't think you're gonna get curling or anything, unfortunately. But yeah, like it's smart. It looked really good. Like the presentations they were doing, like graphics and all that sort of stuff for it. It's really smart and it looked real good. So it was like the most impressive thing that they could have done for Steep.
Yeah.
They showed off Far Cry 5 some more.
Yes, they did.
Including some gameplay. I didn't think the trailer looked real good though. Like it seemed like they saw the reaction to that first trailer and was like, "What if we made a real goofy, fun trailer, guys?" Ugh. But there was a dog in it.
You told me a lot about the dog, but my concern is that they're not owning up to what game they made.
From what I've heard, like the original like pitch they gave to press at Judges Week was that like it's very serious. It's like they basically said the words like it's rooted in reality.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying is that I'm afraid that they're not owning up to the game that they've made.
That I would agree with you on that. But
doggo.
That dog's a pal. He will steal guns for you.
Oh, that is a good dog.
And kill.
Oh, that's a bad dog.
He's a good dog.
Okay, I mean, I guess it depends on who he's killing.
He's killing white supremacists.
Okay, then yeah, he's a good dog. What a good boy.
Good boy. And then they ended on the thing that everyone basically asked Ubisoft for at every E3 since 2005 or whatever.
Girlwood?
No, unfortunately not. They showed off Beyond Good and Evil 2.
They did.
Which was super surprising. Also, that game's a prequel.
So they shouldn't have called it 2.
Yeah. Questions. Who knows like how that interacts with like the first game story, but it seemed like it was like a heist/space game, which from what I've heard of the first game seems completely different. So but it seems like it's like the same, or like, I mean, Michel Ancel was out there and he's the one who made the first game, so it's cool that they're making that thing finally.
Yeah, I completely agree with that.
And that was Ubisoft, which was probably legit one of the best conferences out there this week.
Yeah.
Which is surprising. Like, who thought that? Who thought coming in that Ubisoft was going to be like, yeah, they're going to be one of the best ones out there?
Literally nobody ever expects Ubisoft to do anything worthwhile. So, I mean, it was a low bar, but I'm glad that they stepped over it because, honestly, I didn't get to watch it live, but I did go see some clips of it, and I was really into how they presented these things.
Yeah. It was real good.
It was really good. And they announced some good stuff, and they announced stuff that I'm into and stuff I'm not into, and you know, they had something for everybody, kind of.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
So it was rad.
And then Sony took the final slot of Monday.
Oh boy.
Oh boy. They had a pre-show where they kind of announced some like smaller things, or stuff they would have said as smaller things. So like Knack 2 was on there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone's favorite video game. The only game you'll ever need, Knack 2. So that's coming out, I think, like real soonish. They showed off Gran Turismo Sport and gave that thing a release date for later this year. As the resident racing fan here, I'm very curious to see how that game stacks up to things like Forza 7 and Project Cars 2. Because, like, Gran Turismo has been kind of out of, like, the simulation racing spotlight for quite some time with their sporadic releases and everything. And then you see games like Forza come out and basically kind of blow the doors off of Gran Turismo in a lot of aspects. And also even Project Cars did pretty much the same thing, and that was like a Kickstarter game of all things. So I've played the beta of that game, and it seems fine, but I don't know how it's going to stack up to like the rest of these super simulation racing games nowadays.
Makes sense.
They also showed off PlayLink, which is like their new thing of like play the game and have it be on your mobile device. It's a bunch of like Jackbox Party games that they're kind of making games.
Bad. And the whole Riot Police thing was a mistake.
There was one we missed though that they showed off, which was called Hidden Agenda. And essentially it was like, what if we made like a Telltale or like Until Dawn, because this is from the developers of Until Dawn, and it's pretty much like you go around voting on what choice you want these characters to make. But also like you get cards, I guess, in that game as well, being like one of them be like, oh, you should try and coerce the other players into picking this option instead of the other option. So like that sounds really cool, actually. Out of like all those types of games that they kind of showed.
Yeah, if I had friends.
Yeah. They also gave a release date to Matterfall, which is a game from the developers of Resogun. Super Hot is coming to PSVR, which Super Hot by itself is awesome. And apparently Super Hot VR is also awesome, so cool that thing is getting elsewhere, considering it was originally an Oculus exclusive. They announced Undertale for PS4 and Vita, which came kind of literally out of nowhere.
It really did. And while I will not play Undertale, I know that's a pretty big deal for people.
Yeah. It's cool that thing's coming out of like other places. I'm real curious to see how
Vita actually got attention.
Yeah!
Yeah, the Vita!
I'm curious to see how that thing plays with a controller. Because I think I played that thing with keyboard and mouse, but yeah.
That's interesting. I didn't even think about that. But yeah, I can't play it, but I understand that people really like it. So
why is it like the bullet hell stuff that you can't play?
No. It's the fact that if you make a decision and you don't like that decision and you shut down the game, then the game knows that you made that decision and makes fun of you for it.
Aha.
And that gives me such extreme anxiety because I already have anxiety problems to begin with. But the fact that the game like knows that I don't like the decision that I made and is like mocking me for it,
That's understandable.
I literally had panic attacks.
Yeah.
So it's unplayable for me. I can't have panic attacks while trying to play a video game. That's not okay.
No, it's not. So Sony started off their press conference proper with Uncharted: The Lost Legacy, which is a side story of Uncharted, starring like 2 side characters from the series. It seems fine. Uncharted 4 was okay. I like that.
I have never liked an Uncharted game. Period.
I think it's completely fair. Like, I don't think those games play really well per se.
Actually, you are mistaken because the conference started with live music.
Well, yeah, then transitioned into Uncharted.
Yeah,
Sorry.
and Andrew, my best friend, one of my best friends made a joke about Brian Crescente playing the bongos. And for one, I haven't really heard the name Brian Crescente in a long time. But 2, he was right. It did look like him.
I sent you the Beatles song that has the sitar in it as well, because there was a sitar there randomly too.
Yeah, I was yelling sitar, and yeah, within you, without you.
So that transitioned to Uncharted somehow.
Yeah, somehow that was weird. Sony made a lot of really strange choices.
Yeah. Next up, they showed off DLC for Horizon Zero Dawn, which is coming out later in the year, which that makes sense. That game's pretty big still. Days Gone. We got gameplay of that. And then random bodies hanging in the auditorium. What the was that?
That was a mistake because it really made no sense.
No.
I know that they were showing it in the gameplay, but there was no reason to do that. It was really, really creepy. I know that we were both watching the Giant Bomb stream at that point, and they kept going back to it, and I kept going back to it, thinking like, are those people still hanging up there? Who are these people? What are they doing? Like, it was a mistake. It was so distracting. It was so upsetting, and there was no reason for it.
No,
like,
none.
I know that you're trying to like do this. I was so mad the entire conference of Sony because they were trying to do all these really high production values of like, there's waterfalls and there's these light effects and here's fire and like, why is all this necessary if you're not like, if your focus is just going to be on the games and trailer after trailer after trailer after trailer after trailer and nothing between that, you don't need to try and like blow my mind with this stuff. You're trying to sell me on like cheap tricks as opposed to the actual games, and that's so upsetting. And it is a knock on my intelligence level because you're trying to be like, ooh, look at this shiny glittery person hanging from the ceiling, like, woo. And I don't care. Show me whatever freaking good game you're gonna show me. And I wasn't impressed at all, and I literally was so pissed when I was watching that entire thing.
There was something I was watching Waypoint doing like their wrap up of the Sony press conference, and they mentioned like how it almost seemed like a lot of the trailers in that press conference were just like they came just from the same exact mold, and like everyone like had the same tone, the same kind of art style, and just like the same direction for each individual trailer. Where like they were just like all the same.
They were, and it was really boring.
Mm-hmm.
I know that I was texting you by the end that I was really, really tired and done with it, and I was mad that they were continuing to show things. But that's not what you want from a conference. You don't want to go up on this presser thing and be like, hey, we're going to show you all this cool stuff, and then somebody's like, will you please just stop it so I can go to bed?
Go home.
It was annoying. It was super annoying. And I feel like they dropped the ball really, really hard. Mm-hmm. And I know that I've said it before and I'll say it again. It was pretty much 2016 part 2.
Yeah, pretty much was. Which, speaking of Days Gone, man. The only thing I think is impressive in that game is like their level of detail for like crowds and stuff, to where like swarms like look kind of good and stuff. Everything else, man, I do not give a shit about that game.
You mean you don't give a shit about Zombear?
I do give a shit about Zombear. Zombear was pretty cool. But man, like, lone biker going against a zombie apocalypse, like, f*** off.
Oh, yeah, it was not. I was not into it. Again, I'm so tired of zombie games.
Mm-hmm.
I know that we talked. You just mentioned it. We talked about it before. That like it was cool that there was so much going on a screen, but also like that's distracting after a while, and
Yeah.
it's gonna get really boring after a while,
Yeah.
and it's gonna get really frustrating after a while, and I just don't care enough.
Yeah. They showed off a new Monster Hunter game.
They did show off a new
Monster Hunter World, which is it's actually kind of a big deal because like this is the first like mainline Monster Hunter game that's been on a console specifically, and first time in like years that it's been not on a Nintendo console.
Correct.
So like that was kind of surprising in and of itself, and also because like they just announced Monster Hunter XX for Switch in Japan.
They did.
So
they did.
But hey, like it's a new Monster Hunter game for console, so that's cool.
It looked fine if you're into Monster Hunter, but I'm not.
Got a ghillie suit. You can fight dinosaurs.
I lost my shit when Giant Bomb pulled a Dio joke. Did you get to hear that?
Yeah.
Oh my god. Because for you guys who aren't watching it, the character like has on his suit. What's it called?
It's a ghillie suit.
Ghillie suit, and he like throws it off dramatically, and they were making it was me, Dio joke. I was like, oh my god, you guys, it's wonderful. So good.
The next thing they showed was something that you and I were both pretty much very into. Like I was ahead of you in terms of stream, and I was like, I saw what was happening. I was like, oh, she's gonna be very excited about this. A new Shadow of the Colossus remake.
Oh yeah.
Which apparently people are already upset about.
I expected that.
So yeah, like it's being made by Blue Point, who did the HD remaster for PS3 of Eco and Shadow of the Colossus, and has done like a bunch of like the HD remasters for a lot of games. I know they did like the Metal Gear Solid HD remasters of 2 and 3 and Peace Walker, which those are really good, especially 2 and 3. Like they looked really good on 360 and PS3.
Well, and I can attest to Eco and Shadow of the Colossus on PS3.
And this looked even better. Like it looked real good.
Fantastic. And I'm really, really excited that you're gonna get to experience this finally because it's such a great game, and it's the one thing that I could think of for the press conference off the top of my head that I'm gonna buy from Sony's.
Yeah, honestly.
And it's bad because it's a PS2 game.
Yeah. It does seem kind of weird though that like this is the game they're remaking. Like they're not even doing Eco, but they're just like, let's just remake Shadow of the Colossus, and it's like, that's weird. Okay, sure.
It is weird. It's a really strange choice.
And also that's not out until 2018.
Yeah, it's gonna be a while.
So yeah, Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite got a story trailer.
Chun-Li looked terrible.
Chun-Li's head is very small.
Why is her head so tiny?
They released a story demo after the press conference. I downloaded that thing. That thing seemed real bad.
Oh no.
Like the story seemed just dumb. The voice acting didn't seem great at all. The fighting especially seemed real bad.
That's sad because it used to be a really good game.
Mm-hmm. Like the impact on blows and stuff didn't sound good. I know like they've kind of got out ahead of this, but like they're making it easier to do like crazy moves and combos and stuff like that. But it was like I can button mash and do all these cool moves, but it's like I'm not really learning them or anything. I think you could turn that off in the demo itself, but it didn't seem great at all. Especially like, you know, coming off the heels of like Injustice 2, which is just recently came out and is real good. Tekken 7 is real good. That Dragon Ball game looks real good. And then you see this, and it's like 360 era graphics. And man, it looked very unimpressive.
Yeah, I was so, like I said, Chun-Li looked terrible, her tiny head, but like the actual game itself, I was definitely out of it.
Mm-hmm.
I did not care. And that's upsetting because like I said, these games used to be really good.
Let's go play Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3, I guess, if you want that. If you want like a good one of those. They put that on PS4, so there you go. Call of Duty World War II. They showed off gameplay of that, which just looked like a big budget shooter thing. The one thing I will say that makes this trailer very interesting, and a rumor going around about this game, is in the trailer they showed off like a building that had like red drapes, well, not drapes, but like banners. Mm-hmm. And in the banners there were iron crosses instead of swastikas.
Ooh.
Apparently the rumor going around in this game is that there are no swastikas in that game.
Really?
Yeah, which How are you going to tell a game about World War II without the Nazis?
Oh, that irritates the heck out of me. What the?
Because
How?
it's not like there's a trademark on swastikas like Wolfenstein 2. Just they showed that off like yesterday or Sunday, and that thing had swastikas out the butt.
Well, and you're literally fighting Nazis.
Yeah.
That was their symbol.
Yeah.
What the?
That sounds completely baffling.
All right, you know how like all the news articles from like Southern people, I'm going to try and be nice about this, are like, they're trying to erase our Confederate history. Da, 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 da. Like, that's, no, they're not doing that, but they're literally erasing it in this game because they don't want to people off, and that's annoying because we literally were fighting the Nazis in World War II, and they used the swastika as their symbol. Oh my God, what the heck?
Also, it just seems like a retelling of the same stories you've seen in every World War II game ever. And
Probably.
literally, I do not want to play a World War II game ever again because, man, that combat is so slow and boring.
Yeah. World War II is not a real, like, fun, happy time, guys.
No. And also,
I mean,
World
neither
War
is
II
World War
didn't
I,
just
but-
take place in Europe.
Correct. It did not. Wow. It was literally called a world war.
But, you know, all these games seem to think, man, Europe, that was the best place for World War II. The only place for World War II, to be exact.
Why don't we have, like, Call of Duty in North Africa?
Great question. There was a Medal of Honor game that they did, like, I think it was called Medal of Honor, like Pacific Theater or something. That was literally the Japanese World War II and all that stuff. So, like, there's been one. I think there may have been, like, a few others, like, back in that day of, like, the World War II buzz. But, yeah, it's always been, like, European focused. But maybe, like, there is stuff in there that just didn't show, but, whoo, boy.
Well, and you should specify it's usually Western European focused.
Yeah, true. Next up was their VR block, which was smart because I know you're not the big fan of VR, but literally I don't think Sony had any VR games like scheduled to come out anytime soon. And this is after them coming out and being like, yeah, we sold 1 million units of PSVR. So like they needed to show off some VR, which they did. They showed off Skyrim.
They did.
In VR, which I guess you'll be able to play that whole thing in VR. I was kind of wondering like why wouldn't Bethesda have shown that off? But like saying, hey, there's 2 different versions of Skyrim coming out in 2017 might have confused some people.
Right. They showed Final Fantasy 15 fishing.
Monsters of the Deep.
Oh my God, I could not even believe. I was rolling my eyes so hard that they hurt.
Doing some fishing, cracking open some cold ones with the boys.
Oh my God.
The one thing I'll say about that thing is it looks better than anything Final Fantasy 15 related at all. And it is infinitely better than the VR thing they pitched last year, which was like a bad shooting gallery and letting people like
Boobs.
look at the girl's boobs and undercarriage in that car.
Yeah, I agree. I would rather fish than look at boobs, but it's so weird. Like, what a weird choice.
Yeah.
And like, we're boiling Final Fantasy down to a fishing game. Come on.
Square gonna be square.
It's true.
Also in that block was Star Child, which was a, I guess, side scroller with giant robot dude or something.
Yeah, that was weird. I didn't understand it. It was neat looking, but I didn't understand it.
It definitely seemed like a thing you'd have to see in VR to understand like why it looks like that, and how it plays.
Yeah.
Bravo Team, which is literally the fakest game sounding name ever. I guess it's just another shooter. The Inpatient, which was the hospital VR game, but
Oh no.
they really screwed up the trailer for this thing. The Inpatient is a prequel to Until Dawn. And they
Wait,
didn't
really?
mention that in the trailer.
Really?
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Right? No one did until after the press conference, and like PR came out and was like, oh yeah, this is a prequel to Until Dawn. How do you that up? Like, God.
I had no idea.
Yeah, neither did I.
Wow.
And then Moss, which looked real cool. Had that mouse. That mouse had a sword.
I mean, it was cute.
That mouse is going to cut some people.
I believe it.
That game looked cool. even if it's VR. Like it had a look and style.
It did look cool, and I was interested in it, but I also was like, oh, VR, I can't play this.
Yeah,
so.
It's the one unfortunate thing. Next up, they showed a new trailer for The God of War. The Dad of War. I wonder how they're gonna do with like the whole Kratos is a dad thing. Like, are they gonna really try to give that character like a redemption arc, or is it gonna be like the son being like, I need to get the out of here. This guy's crazy.
I know that I made a really bad joke at the end of this trailer.
I don't remember it.
You don't remember my joke? It had the big like serpent guy come up and he's like chatting, and I was like, "Oh, hey, bud, how's the wife?" Oh.
That scene should have just been like Kratos being like, "I'm gonna cut this snake," and the boy's like, "No, he's gonna help us. He's gonna help us." Like, right, yeah, you're gonna help us, right? I'm gonna cut the snake open, slit his throat.
It would have been more in character.
Yeah. I guess like the combat kind of looked less God of War-y than like the other God of War games in a little bit, but
I've already explained to you I will not play another God of War game.
That's completely fair. Speaking of games we're not gonna play, Detroit.
Nope, pass. 100% pass. If I could give you more than 100% pass, I would give you
200%.
1,567%.
I don't trust David Cage to make a game that at all tackles racism at all, which that's basically what this is. It's just humans and androids, but it's really about racism, guys. Like, off, David Cage.
Yeah, no, and I also don't trust him to make a video game in general. So, especially, so I don't trust him to make a video game, and then you're tackling a topic like this, like, no. And also, the main character should have just been the guy who was singing at the beginning.
True, yeah.
Instead of like generic guy.
Generic white dude.
Yeah, it was
not great. Destiny 2 though, that trailer was weird just because like they had their big Destiny 2 presentation like a few weeks ago, so it was kind of just like a little bit of that. But I guess like the main thing they were kind of like focusing on was like, here's all your PlayStation exclusive content you're going to get in the game. And then I think afterwards they also talked about like there's a beta in July, so sure, Destiny 2. And then they ended on the Spoder-Man.
You mean Arkham City?
Man, people think this game looks amazing, and me and you are like, that game didn't look great at all.
No, I saw like everybody on the internet's like, wow, they nailed it with Spider-Man. I'm like, what? I played this game many years ago and it was a bat.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, but that's not Spider-Man's fighting style. It's just, that's not how he functions. And it was really upsetting, and there wasn't enough like of him being like witty and chatty.
Yeah, definitely.
He wasn't Spider-Man. Basically is the gist of what I'm saying is the game looked bad and he wasn't Spider-Man. I did like the like twist at the end of it.
Yeah.
But
the game is basically like, man, those Batman games were real good. What if we made another one of those, but with more QuickTime events? Which, dude, I don't want to play a game with like that many QuickTime events.
No, those QuickTime events immediately made me like, oh, this is terrible. There were so many in a row, and they, no, thank you. I will pass on that.
This might just be me because I'm a Spider-Man fan. I think that suit looks bad.
I don't like it. I feel like it's got too much white on it.
Yeah. I think that's my main thing too. Like, there's way too much white on it.
Yeah, his butt looks weird too, but that's just me.
But yeah, like, I don't think the combat looks good. Like, all that QuickTime event stuff. The swinging didn't look good either. Like, I thought like it looked way too slow. It tried to like be way too momentum based, and it didn't look great at all. Especially just because like that whole thing just looked way too much like pre-canned and everything.
Yeah, that helicopter chase was bad looking.
Apparently, that thing is going to be an open world game though, so that's kind of promising. That's a game I'll play when it goes real cheap.
Yeah. I probably won't, but I'll listen to you talk about it.
Like you said, like the post montage teaser where they showed off Miles Morales was interesting.
Yeah.
But I'm real curious to see what they do with that, because like, are you gonna have two different Spider-Man in here? Or is that just character in here just for the sake of having that character in here?
I honestly wish what they had done, which I know that that's not what they did, but what would have been really cool is that if it actually was Miles and like that he was just like trying to blend in at the end. But I know that's not the case, and I'm really upset because Miles needs more love.
Mm-hmm.
But I was at least glad that there was a nod to him, that he exists.
Let me push this to you. What if we just replaced this entire game and made Spider-Gwen?
If it plays better, then yes.
You could easily implement Miles Morales way better in that than you could with the regular Spider-Man game you have right now.
Yeah, you totally could.
I just want a Spider-Gwen game, so.
Yeah, but again, I don't want it to have like a million QuickTime events and like slow swinging and Arkham gameplay where it doesn't make sense. And that's how they ended it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like that's not a strong closer.
Their whole presentation was not strong.
No, it was super weak the entire time, and I was very disappointed. It was bad.
So fresh off the heels of feeling real bad and disappointed, we had Nintendo today, this morning, or this afternoon actually, technically, because it started at noon. Nintendo could have gone a few ways. It was either like, hey, there's a real low bar you can easily clear, or they're just gonna show Super Mario Odyssey, which, granted, that would have been all right, but kind of disappointing in and of itself if they didn't show anything else.
I was really worried that they were going to focus on like one or two games.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I was really worried about it. And you can hear that in the podcast last week that I was very worried that it would just be like a focus of like one or two games because they had such a short time period to get it done.
So they had 25 minutes.
Yeah.
And they showed off quite a few things.
Yeah, they did, including Reggie in an empty house.
Empty house. So they started off with like a montage of like stuff that had already been announced. So it was like Splatoon, ARMS, Pokken, and then they kind of just threw Rocket League in there.
Yeah, Rocket League was there. I was like, okay.
I was like, okay, sure. Rocket League's a cool game. So that's coming to Switch. They announced that it's coming out in the holidays. It will have cross-network play with Xbox One and PC, and also Nintendo-themed items. So like they showed off like a Mario hat you can put on your car, and I guess probably other like Mario, maybe like a Mario Kart in there. That'd be cool.
Oh, that'd be right.
Rocket League's a very good game.
I haven't played it.
Xenoblade Chronicles 2.
Yes.
Showed off a new trailer for that. Apparently that game's still coming out holiday 2017.
I'm very surprised. Also, I was really surprised because that sword had tiggle bitties, and I was not expecting that.
So yeah, like that's the thing where like the weapons have support characters linked to them.
That's what it seems like.
They showed it off in Treehouse, and that was basically what the gameplay was. And you can switch out between different characters, which are correspond with different weapons, essentially.
I'm really, really excited, and you can attest to this, though. I got real upset for a minute there because I was watching the trailer on the train home today from work, and I saw like the final splash of it, and I saw Nomura's name on there. I'm like, no.
You sent me that message. You're like, is this real? And I was like, does she mean the title? I was like, what are you talking about? Because I didn't catch that at all at first.
And then all I got in response was, oh.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, no.
No punctuation, just oh.
So essentially, it just seems like he designed a character in that game.
A character.
It's just going to have a lot of belts on it. That's the only thing.
I think it's free of like his gross
toxicity.
Yes, I was going to say taint, but that's also an incorrect. I just don't want Nomura touching things that I like, and it looks great, and I'm really excited about it.
They showed off a new Kirby game coming to Switch, which was
also looks great
4-player side-scrolling game, Kirby style. It's just called Kirby for now. I'm assuming that'll change. Coming out in 2018. I
won't get it, but it looked good.
It looked good, yeah. They threw to the Pokemon Company for a brief second to like kind of talk about Pokken Tournament DX, and then also they mentioned that a core Pokemon RPG is coming to the Nintendo Switch.
Smart.
What that means, though? Shrug shoulders.
I know what it means.
But do you?
I don't know.
Does that mean like a 3DS Pokemon game coming to Switch, or does that mean like one of like the N64 GameCube RPGs coming to Switch?
Oh, see, I was thinking it was going to be like the handhelds are pretty much ready to Switch.
It's just, I guess, the way they say
That's how-
core
that's how I-
RPG, like it leans more towards like a legitimate Pokemon game finally coming to a console. But also, I'm kind of hesitant.
Okay. Well, we will remain skeptical
Yeah.
then.
But it's cool that
Okay.
they came out because like after that Pokemon Direct, everyone was like, "Why the aren't you making like an actual Pokemon game for the Switch?" And like they
Right.
basically kind of nulled that immediately. Like, we're making one, guys. Don't worry. Speaking of things that people were very excited for, Metroid Prime 4 for the Nintendo
Oh, man.
Switch.
The internet explodes.
Because man, Nintendo has kind of ignored Metroid for a long time, except for like those bad 3DS games recently.
Well, and Other M kind of bombed.
I've never played a Prime game, so I don't really know what to. I know it's a first-person shooter-esque thing,
Yeah.
so that's the only thing I know. The one thing I guess going around is that like Retro, the studio that made the first 3 games, isn't making this, but they
that's
have one of the producers is like staying on to help a new team make it. So
Oh, okay. That's fine then.
maybe it'll be
Maybe.
fine, maybe not. This thing was basically just like, hey, we're making it, no release date, which was
Right.
like,
It was pretty much the logo.
which kind of felt like an old school E3 thing, where it's like, hey, here's a thing that we're gonna make. We don't know. We just kind of started developing on it. Who knows? Which no one else really kind of had.
No, and I know that there's like some question on whether or not that's a good strategy because then people are like, well, where's this game? But I feel like it was a good move on Nintendo's part to do this because people have been asking for so long, where's Metroid?
Mhm.
And I feel like with the Switch kind of being in its infancy, it was a smart
They're like,
move.
hey, we know. They showed off a new Yoshi game, just tentatively titled Yoshi.
It looks so cute.
Seems to be like another extension of the Woolly World style of
Woolly
gameplay, but also like the background and everything is made of like cardboard and stuff, which aesthetically looks real cool.
And it looks really fun. I was excited after watching the trailer. It looked fun to play. So I also really like the Yoshi Woolly World and basically all the Yoshi games.
Fire Emblem Warriors, they showed off like a story trailer for that, which I don't think was necessarily the best thing because they didn't show any gameplay of it. I mean, obviously, people kind of know what to expect from the gameplay of that, but I would have liked to seen gameplay in that trailer. But like that game, I think like via the cutscenes, I guess it looks pretty good.
It looks great, and I know that I made the comment that everybody has feet, which is kind of a funny statement to make, but it's true. I was really excited that everybody has feet. But it looks pretty, and I'm real stoked about
They
it.
eventually did show it off on Treehouse, and the gameplay looks exactly what you think it does. So
I bet
Yeah.
it does.
So that thing is still coming to Switch and new Nintendo 3DS in fall 2017. Remember the 3DS? Remember the new 3DS?
I'll get it on Switch.
And then they talked about the Zelda Breath of the Wild DLC, which was smart. They kind of outlined and showed off like the first pack, basically everything that was in that, and which they already kind of like talked about in general, but they hadn't like shown off. So like they basically showed off all this stuff. So like the Trial of the Sword, the map thing where it shows like every place you went, the Master Mode difficulty, all the new costumes and accessories you'll be able to buy or get in that pack. And that thing's out June 30th, so that's out pretty soon.
Very soon.
They showed off new amiibos of all the 4 champions. And then they teased off the final DLC pack, the story DLC pack called Champions Ballad, which basically starts off with Cass, the bard, singing a song. He's like, let me tell you a tale about the champions. And then like shows all 4 champions and then Zelda. And that's basically like pack 2, the Champions Ballad, which we are very excited for.
Oh, I'm
say the
so
least.
stoked.
Because like, man, if that thing's a prequel, like there's so
Mhm.
much interesting things they could do with that.
I read so much Breath of the Wild fanfic that I can see so much potential. I'm still upset that there's no like Zelda amiibo of her in that outfit though, because that would be awesome.
I feel like eventually there will be.
There should, and they should have announced it along with the Champions
Yeah,
bag.
they should.
But anyway, I'm super stoked for that. So
And that's coming out later this year still, so
holiday, yeah.
yo, we'll be able to play more of that game this year. That's f***ing awesome.
Oh man, I'm so stoked. That game has made me like laugh and cry and be super happy, and it's my game of the year so far.
Yeah.
And I don't think that anything's gonna tackle that.
Before we get to the final game they showed off, on their Treehouse stream, like immediately afterwards, they showed off a brand new game, and it was Metroid Samus Returns, which is a kind of retelling of Metroid 2.
Yep.
a 3DS 2D side-scrolling or 2.5D Metroidvania game, basically. And man, people lost their minds again because like, holy crap, we get another Metroid game.
So much Metroid.
And it also, I guess, kind of makes sense that they shut down real forcefully that Metroid 2 Game Boy remake that was online last year because they made their own. The one thing I saw people kind of being skeptical about is the developer of it, which was the developer of the Castlevania Lords of Shadow games. But I mean, like the gameplay they showed off of that thing, it looked fine. It looked like a Metroid game. It looked like what you'd want. So, but they ended their spotlight, the Nintendo spotlight, with Super Mario Odyssey, which is
they did
pretty much what you'd expect. And what the is that game?
Oh, I'm so excited! I'm so excited for this game. I was very confused when I first saw it because there's a T-Rex. I was like, why is there a T-Rex in my Mario? And then he's wearing a hat. And he's wearing a Mario hat.
Yeah, because Mario took him over.
And then I realized that Mario can take things with his hat.
He can take over everything.
And we got so many cool things with mustaches. We got Goombas with mustaches. We got frogs with mustaches.
Bullet bills
with mustaches. I remember listing off all the things with mustaches when I was on the call with you earlier.
They officially named the announcement, or the name of the hat is Cappy.
Cappy. Okay, that makes sense.
But yeah, I mean, that game looks crazy.
Pauline's back.
Paulie's the mayor of New Donk City, which is crazy.
I love it. I love it so much.
They asked about that on like the Treehouse because they basically went straight to Treehouse and showed off the game right afterwards. And like one of the people were like, "So Pauline's the mayor of New Donk City. What does that mean?" And then like, the developers were just like, "We're not gonna talk about story or anything, but that means something." So like, what if New Donk City is Mario's original hometown?
Ooh.
Before the events of Donkey Kong.
Ooh, I like it.
That game.
Also, we got Pimp Bowser.
Pimp Suit Bowser's here. He's getting married to Peach.
And an amiibo.
And you have to fight this evil wedding registry group who are trying to stop you from Bowser marrying Peach.
That's the greatest idea ever. That the villains are the like wedding planning crew.
It's 100% pure Nintendo.
Oh, I love it. I love it so much. Like, I am so into this game. I was already like into it. I was intrigued because I love these kinds of games. But now I'm like over the top. I'm ready. I want this game. 100%. Please give it to me. I also want the amiibo.
I hope the end of the game is basically Peach being like, "I'm gonna marry Bowser. Mario, you can't keep me safe." Because that would be real dumb.
Oh my god.
But yeah, that game's coming out October 27th.
That's so soon.
It's very soon.
I'm really excited about that.
Man.
People,
go ahead, sorry.
People were worried about the like game catalog of the Switch, and people were worried about the life of the Switch, and like Nintendo is not playing around.
I mean, they showed off some stuff, like they showed off things that had already announced. Like there really wasn't anything new that was coming out later this year, per se, except for like Rocket League. But like, I mean, they got stuff for you to be excited for next year, like that new Yoshi game, the new Kirby game. You know, Metroid.
Well, they're giving dates.
Yeah, and they're giving release windows for those games, but dates
Mario has a date.
Mario has a date. But Fire Emblem didn't. Xenoblade didn't. Mario has a date. That's pretty much all you need.
Mario has a date, and the rest have windows, which is better than what we had.
Yeah. They showed off more than I was expecting, honestly.
Same. I expected a few games.
And we got more than a few games, so
I'm excited.
Nintendo kind of knocked. Well, I'm not gonna say they knocked it out of the park, but man, considering the low bar of pretty much everything else, like
they brought it. Nintendo knew that they had to do a good job with this because, like I said, the Switch is in its infancy. People are already like, well, there's not a lot of games on it. So Nintendo knew that they had to bring it because people were already like questioning their system and their choices, like as they always do.
Yeah.
And I feel like they did a great job. And between Nintendo and Ubisoft, I feel like E3 wasn't a complete and total scrub loss. But otherwise,
E3.
E3. Do better next year, guys.
So, like, I guess, like, if anything, what are, like, a couple games that you saw that you're actually legitimately excited about?
Well, we already talked about Mario, Yoshi, Xenoblade,
Yeah.
Shadow of the Colossus. I'm interested in Code Vein. I'm not 100% sold on it yet, but it looked interesting.
Right.
So I'm like, all right. I'll give it a look-see when they post stuff up on it.
Yeah.
Cuphead, but I've been excited for Cuphead since like announcement.
Right.
It's bad that I'm even having issues remembering. I've also had a long day though.
Yeah. There was a lot of games shown, so.
Right. EA didn't really have a whole lot for me. Bethesda had nothing for me. Microsoft, I said Cuphead. I don't know. I mean, like, there's really not a whole lot that I'm super into.
I feel like I would kind of agree with you on that.
And I know that I had texted you several times throughout the weekend and was saying I don't feel like I'm the target of this anymore.
Right.
And I still stand by that. More so with Nintendo that I am a target on that. But throughout the rest of E3, I was like, I'm not the person they're trying to sell on these things. I'm just not. I don't know why that's the case, but that's the case. I guess I gravitate more towards like smaller companies at this point, and I know 100% because it's always been the case that I gravitate more towards like Japanese developers. And there were several here, but this seemed very like, this is gonna sound terrible, but like Western gaming focused.
Yeah, of course. I mean, obviously, it's a Western conference.
Right.
But yeah, I get what you mean.
Be like that all the time. You used to have more of a like interspersed of like a variety.
Right. Which I think like you get more of that like on the floor itself, because like, you know, you have Atlas and all their stuff there. Like, I think there's Danganronpa 3 is playable on the show floor. So like, I think you're gonna want more. You're gonna see more of that stuff like on the show floor and not on these press conferences and everything. Which I think that's just kind of been the general theme for quite a few years now. Like kind of what we talked about at the very beginning of the show.
But that's the stuff that I'm really interested in, is more of the, I don't want to say niche because that's not the right word, but they're lower budget, they're smaller companies, they're more of like a story driven type game, and I'm not getting so much of that at E3 anymore.
Yeah.
So like I said, I know that I'm not the target, but it's still disappointing for me as somebody who plays a lot of video games that I'm coming away from this feeling so disappointed. And that like the very last day when somebody who's not even really participating in the in the event is the one that's like, okay, here's all the stuff that you want.
And they do the best.
They did. And I mean, like, people can tell me that I'm a Nintendo fangirl, and I'm really not going to deny that. I don't have the same, like, company loyalty that a lot of people have. And especially when I see on E3 comments, there's always going to be people that are just, like, defending Sony or Microsoft, like, tooth and nail and just, like, wrecking anything that's not them. And I'm not going to do that for any of these companies because I know they don't care about me. They care about my money, but they don't care about me. And so I'm not going to personally defend them. But as long as you give me stuff that I want, then I'm happy.
Yeah.
But that can come from anybody. Like, I don't care what console it's going to be on. Just give me stuff that I want and give me stuff that's going to be fun. Give me new stuff. And I'm just not seeing that beyond Nintendo at this point. Like, I know people will yell at Nintendo like, oh, you're doing the same IP over and over and over and over. But they are trying new things. Like, Splatoon was new last time. Was what, 2 years ago now?
Like 3.
I don't remember when Splatoon came out. ARMS is a new IP. I'm not 100% sold on it yet, but like that's new. So like they're trying new stuff, but they also know that like, and they're trying new stuff within their core franchises as well.
Yeah, very much true.
And I know that Xenoblade is technically a sequel and not new IP, but this is a completely different Xenoblade than what I'm used to. And honestly, Cross was the same way. Xenoblade Chronicles, Xenoblade Cross, and what seems to be Xenoblade 2 seem like very, very different games, but they're keeping the same kind of kind of like Final Fantasy, but not terrible now. If that makes sense. Like they're the same kind of like idea, but completely different stories, completely different characters, that kind of thing.
Same name, different everything.
Yeah, 100%.
Well, all right. Yeah. As you should be.
Yeah.
And that was E3. Well, press conferences. Yeah. E3 is technically just started, so.
Well, the press conferences, and I mean, I'll keep up with news as much as I can, but it's really hard for us to get stuff from the floor more than like them announcing stuff.
Yeah, but like, there's people out there doing that hard work for us, so.
Right, correct.
Not like literally, but like just people on the internet finding all this. And like just a butt ton of trailers are just going to get dumped over the next few days as well, so. Out of stuff that wasn't on the press conferences either, but.
Basically the stuff that we actually care about?
Probably, yeah.
Like, I just really want a Danganronpa trailer. That's, please.
That thing is, like I said, the thing is a playable demo on the show floor, so I'm assuming there will be one sometime in the near future, next few days or something. Hopefully, at least. Because that'll be fun. But yeah, that was E3. It's come and gone. Meh. Meh. And that's going to do it for this episode.
It is.
It is.
Somewhat of a long episode, but I think it was informative and fun.
Yeah.
And also, like, we had to talk about a lot of stuff. So
we did. 6 press conferences.
I hope you stuck with us and you're still listening.
2 hours later.
Jared, give them their information of what they need to do now.
For more information, you can go to seasolanimecheckup.com or sac.cool for past episodes and more fun things on there, like reviews, columns, and just random writings as well. You can go back and listen to our predictions podcast and listen to how wrong we were or how right we were, whichever you decide. Mostly wrong, yeah. You can follow Anne Ladyem at anneladyem.com, get all her writings, probably her social media stuff on there as well. I don't know. You can follow us on...
My social media is on there.
Sure.
Wow.
You can follow us on Twitter at Anime Checkup, where you can find us memeing about all of the latest in news. That's actually not true.
I mean, we do meme.
We do meme.
We've also had the fighting game tournament going on.
The big video game cross manga anime fighting game tournament rolls on.
Oh my god. And I don't even remember what I was going to say beyond that.
I mean, did you see that hot Mike Hager versus Zangief match last night? Man, whew. What a battle of titans that was.
You can also yell at us on the Twitter about opinions that we have expressed in this very podcast. Also, you can agree with us if you'd like to. Conversations are what we're aiming for, and also you can reach both of us at that Twitter, so that's useful.
The best place to do it.
Yep.
Next week, I haven't thought that far ahead, so
yeah, I've got nothing.
Something will be on the pipeline for next week.
We'll talk about stuff.
So come listen to us talk about stuff next week. Same time, same place, same bat channel.
What?
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 What?